Now, this is from Wells Fargo. Anybody bank with Wells Fargo? Listen to this. And look, just because you don't bank with Wells Fargo doesn't mean this is not coming to all these other banks and corporations, because it is. You already know that. Here's the headline: Wells Fargo patent describes smart dust for biometric payment verification. According to a detailed LinkedIn post by Joe Petrocelli Mudaman, Wells Fargo has secured an active U.S. patent. This is U.S. 1135466. Yes, guys, I'm not making that.
Hear those last three numbers? 666.
Six. Yes, guys, I'm not making that up. B1. I mean, you can't make this up. That envisions a futuristic layer of biometric security using microscopic sensors known as smart dust. Look at this image. This is what we're talking about here. This is what they want. Payment approved. They're integrating this into biometric payment verifications, smart dust particles. We'll give you more detail about that in just a
I want you to notice that. You notice what they showing you, right? Biometric payment systems. You notice how it's showing the right hand to pay, to buy.
We'll give you more detail about that in just a second. The patent describes micro electromechanical systems, or MEMS, MEMS, motes, tiny dust like particles equipped with sensors that can be released into the air during transactions to, quote, verify a user's identity in real time. This technology aims to create an invisible multi layered authentication shield for banking and payments. Hello, buying, selling, and trading, potentially transforming how identity is confirmed at point of sale terminals or through mobile apps. The process unfolds rapidly upon payment initiation. A base station, which can be integrated into a POS terminal, smartphone, or nearby hub, activates and releases the motes near the user. These sensors float or probe or propel themselves into position, gathering intimate biometric and environmental data, including heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, breathing patterns, facial recognition, voice signatures, and motion profiles. Is this not terrifying?
Oh wait, let me get this straight. And hear me out. I mean, like I said, I'm not forward for all of this, but just hear me out anyway. It says to monitor your heart rate. What does that have to do? And I'm just saying, what does that have to do with buying stuff? What does that have to do to monitor health and all of that stuff? That has nothing to do with that. But they include that in there. Maybe they're starting it with this, but they're trying to, their agendas for something else. I mean, listen, I already figured this is something that could be used for the greatest evil. That's what I think it's gonna be used for. I'm pretty sure y'all that watch that know y'all know that it's gonna be used for a greater evil. You know that, right? Like it's crazy, man.
Is this not terrifying? Quote, these motes are stored in the base station or carried by the user in a device. Upon activation, they are released into the air near the user. The patent summary notes selected motes then transmit their readings, each carrying a unique ID. There it is, that forms part of a dynamic smart key. Folks, listen to me. We're talking about the very tools and framework for the mark of the beast system. And it isn't it ironic
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
that is literally called US patent US 1135466B1. Now, I'm not implying to you that this is the mark of the beast, so please don't twist my words. Oh, Brother Ricky said this is the mark of the beast. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying in this is that these are all the framework, setting the stage for this stuff. Now this has been going on for a while. Check. Let me see, make sure.
Wells Fargo has a patent on the Smart Dust, and I read it, so you don't have to. That's you. That's your phone. That's the Smart Dust. From here on out, you shall be known as 202. But first, how is 5G connected to Smart Dust? 5G is literally how they are going to collect data from Smart Dust in real time. It will allow them to collect large volumes of data simultaneously. Challenges and concerns? Just privacy issues. So as you know from the previous video, there are a lot of uses for Smart Dust, so how would Wells Fargo use Smart Dust? Well, they're going to make sure 202 isn't 203. But how are they going to do that? By performing facial and body recognition. So 202 is attempting to initiate a payment using a mobile device. The base station can send instructions to activate Smart Dust Device 210 to authenticate user 202. The motes that make up Smart Dust can be suspended in the air and surround or be near user 202 while collecting data. In some embodiments, the nodes can be self-propelled and able to move around. So they can control these things. Some motes may move passively on the wind or using Brownian motion. The motes may also be carried by a user and released when the user attempts to make a purchase using a mobile payment or a credit card payment. I mean, am I reading this correctly?
This does not really make sense because if you already have your mobile device and you already have a card for a payment to make a transaction, what is that dust doing? If you could already pay, if you could already pay with those two things, why are they adding this? Could they be setting up for something digitally? Digital currency or something? I don't know. But this is crazy, man. This is crazy. And like I said before, all of this money, that we have, that we're throwing into all this technology and throwing all it into all of this stuff could be coming back to us. Could be coming back to us to build better in our towns, in our communities, in our homes, to refund, to recycle. You know, where's it going? It's going to that. Then what? Then what? It's almost like they're rebuilding a new framework, a new system, a new setup, you know. And nothing was wrong with this setup. Nothing was wrong with it. They just wanted to move on to their God's goal. Little G God. You know? That's crazy, man.
They could be carried by the user and released when the user attempts to make a purchase, like they can just fly away. It will be performing facial and body recognition. The optical data can also be used to gather biometric data, as in the weight.
And stop. And this is the ability with 5G. Now we talked about the Trump administration is doing everything they can. They want to be the leading innovator of 6G. And we did a whole podcast on that. And that will give this, if you think all this is crazy, 6G will expand the capabilities far beyond this. We're talking about digital tattoos and all these things that like Bill Gates is talking about is the innovation of the future. It's where the smartphones are going. So this is no surprise if you're keeping up with what we're talking about here.
Your facial recognition, your fingerprint data, in conjunction with one or more sets of data from the other sensors. The audio data can be used to authenticate your voice, can be used to detect your heart rate, your blood pressure, and other biometric data. Also can detect your body temperature and your breathing rate. It can also measure magnetic fields and read any RFID tags that the user may carry. And then, of course, there's GPS data to see the location of the Smart Dust.
That's crazy because, like they said, this is from Wells Fargo put a patent on this, supposedly to buy or sell, but yet it has all of that to read your biometric, to monitor your heart rate, your breathing, to your all of that facial recognition. You serious? Does not sound right. It does not sound right.
From everything I've read, Smart Dust is definitely the future of smart cities. Here's the thing about Smart Dust is none of us would ever know. If it's on us,
Yep.
breathe it in. How would we know?
All right, look at this last line here. If the data aligns, the system generates a one-time virtual card number and approves the transaction. Mismatches or detection of unauthorized foreign modes trigger an immediate block, adding a tamper-resistant layer. Y'all see how all this is going to be integrated, right? You couple this with the story we just talked about with this kill switch. That all this technology is all going to be used against us. I mean, they are literally, guys, creating the Skynet that Hollywood warned us about.